Heyo, welcome back, etc. Homies, I hope your Year of the Snake is off to a stellar start. I've been a busy bee lately, so I figured I'd find a little nugget in my collection to chat about briefly. One I think you'll dig. The price to joy ratio is wild here, which is always a nifty thing. I was actually inspired by a couple of factors for this subject. Number one, I've just been really enjoying busting out my more affordable Casios recently, especially in the wake of my review of the ever snazzy AQ230 a couple weeks back. And two, on that review, fellow watch YouTuber Keanu Carey, aka Watches Can Be Fun, commented about how much he loves this model, the venerable A158, so I got the itch to bust mine out. I had to replace the bracelet, but luckily the bracelets on a lot of these Casios are the same or very close to the same, and voila, after a wee scavenge off of an A168, here we are. Let's don our spectacles, peeps, and take a gander at this puppy. We've got a diameter of 34 millimeters, a lug to lug of 37 millimeters, a thickness of about 9 millimeters, a lug width of 18 millimeters, a weight of 46 grams, and splash resistance. Not much there. Kind of like the one we looked at a couple of weeks ago. The reference is A158 WEA9. Robot talk galore, in case you need it, and it's still available direct from Casio if the urge strikes, along with several other variants / colorways. I've been wearing this one quite a bit lately, and let me tell you, this piece is a whole wizard. It just disappears at will. I forget I'm wearing it on the reg. I can appreciate the pleasure of having a heftier watch on the old wrist too. That solidity can be reassuring and a nice reminder to look down and enjoy your piece. But there's something about a watch being a little horological butterfly, just barely there whenever you need it. I'm keen for that too. The baller bits. Overall wearability. I'll piggyback off my previous spiel to emphasize just how wearable this piece is. The hardware isn't anything to send a postcard about, but the bracelet has that classic widely adjustable clasp to suit pretty much any wrist, unless you are in fact the Thing from the Fantastic Four, in which case I hope you find something else that suits your time-telling needs. And then you have the aforementioned lightness, slimness, etc. All the goodnesses. Try it for yourself and you'll feel what I mean. The design. Some folks aren't gonna dig the whole 80s aesthetic that really drives the impression this piece makes, with its copious feature callouts on the dial, the splashes of color, etc. And that would apply to almost any vintage collection Casio watch, honestly. We vibe till dawn though, and if you're along for the ride, this piece really sings. I especially like this reference with its coppery, brassy face and dark red or burgundy and gray accents. It's not a combo you see a lot on Casios or otherwise, which makes it a more unique offering compared to the classic black, red, blue, yellow you see on other A158s, A168s, the F91W, code, all the above. I see this one cropping up more and more in collector circles, so I have a feeling others see the appeal as well. The bugaboos. I always feel like a bit of a bully ragging on pieces like the A158, since they do so much for so little, but no watch is perf, I reckon, so I figured I'd mention a couple of things. The build quality. I wish I could have the world with a piece like this one, and I wish I could cajole Casio into churning out all manner of full steel pieces with solid water resistance, just brick houses of horology, but alas, my powers of persuasion are limited. As with other pieces I've reviewed here, you get a resin case, chromed, a flimsy steel bracelet, and only some ability to resist splashes and rain. Ultimately, that's okay. Digital features. The A158 has a fairly bare bones array of digital functions, a single alarm, a stopwatch, and obvi basic time telling with a day-date display. This would be like a common refrain for many less costly Casios. As much as I love that you can get these digital features in such a value package, I find myself missing the one common function you get if you pay just a little bit more: a timer. Obvi, the alarm could serve in a pinch for timing needs, but it's a bit more unwieldy to go about setting it, since one would have to do so at various times of day when needed versus always having a set timer ready to go. I often cook the same dish and need a set time. If you look at my G-Shocks, for example, almost all of them have a 15-minute timer ready to go, whereas I rarely ever use the stopwatch or alarm feature. So long story short, the timer is missed. I'll leave it there, y'all. Just a shorter review for a snazzy little item. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you prefer this one to the A158 with its EL backlight and thicker build? How about the design? And where do you stand on that functionality thing I was talking about? I'd be curious to know if you use one function more than others with your digital watches, etc. Okay, I hope you're having a rad day wherever you are. Thanks for spending some of it with me. Take care.